Hello, y'all. I wanted to give you just extra, instruction or some tips and hints for this application assignment that you have this week. I have directions in the Blackboard site, and then if you click on this link to the RStudio Cloud, it will bring you right into your assignment for the week. That also gives you directions, so it tells you to change the header, run the libraries, run the data, and then really mostly what y'all will be focusing on is number 4. That's where you're going to spend the most of your time. So what I would do if I were you is when I got to number 4, after having run these chunks with the library and then the data, I would actually go into this basics and I would pull this generic code that I used for Chickweight, and I would start making minimal changes to this based on the data that you have and your goal for this week, which is to make a graph that looks like this. So when you pull that in, so for example, right now I'm going to copy it and I would paste it into this chunk with the R, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is not the data I have. It's not Chickweight. You all will be using this top candidates data set. So essentially what this chunk of code did for you is it took the best polls, so all with a grade A, and then it took the most recent date, and then it took only candidates who have an 8% of the votes or more. So you will want to use that data. So just for example, I would copy this and put it into where it says Chickweight. And then I would keep working down, identifying each of the things in here that I've done. Like this is faceted. You have basically 2 variables that are being represented. You have the pollster and then you have the candidate. I have labels on here, just like here where I have labels and it's in part 4 or my 4th plot. The one thing though that I would say is when you're making these changes, I would change these P's to be something else. You could have it G1 for graph 1, but I wouldn't use the same so that when you want to run this, it will still run and you can see what it's doing by doing each iteration. If you go over here and use P's again, it will replace what's in the basics option. That's how I would do it. So I would start when I look at this and I would say, okay, this is either a geom bar or a geom column. I'm going to focus on that first. And then I'm going to say, all right, what variables is that? And then I'm going to focus on getting the variables in. And then you can start just making small changes for each of the features that you identify in here. There aren't really a ton. It might look intimidating, but really this is not very many layers that you're adding on, and you won't have to do a lot. I think when I ended, and I say this in the assignment, I think I had maybe 9 different layers, but some of them you might not be able to do. Some of them are not part of the primers or the videos I gave you, like the angling of the x-axis. You might not be able to do that. That's okay. Just do as much as you can, doing each individual layer, and take it one step at a time. That's the best way to approach something like this. So if you have any questions, of course, let me know. I will say some of you have made mention that you've tried to use the tutoring center or a tutor and they can't help you with things like this. The tutoring center does have our tutoring. I will say from past experience, and I don't know who's in there now, but there hasn't been a lot of luck with that. So if you're struggling, please, that's what I have office hours for y'all for. So reach out to me or ask me to look at your code. Just tell me that you're struggling with this thing and I can go in there and look at it. So I hope you enjoy it. I think some of you will end up enjoying R more than you expect to. At least that's my experience in the past. But if you're struggling, don't struggle too hard. Ask before you make it really frustrating for yourselves. Okay? Happy coding!